Alright, so I'm going to make a video here. I'm probably going to make two versions of this, one for YouTube and one for my company website. I just use portions of it or whatever, but for the YouTube portion of this, I'm going to make a video more towards beginner welders, those guys trying to start their own business, especially a welding business. You see a lot of people asking, like, what kind of projects can you do to get started? And this is one of them. The backstory behind this thing is I traded a dirt bike for a boat. I didn't do anything with the boat for 2 years. It was a horrible mistake. I should have kept the dirt bike. But long story short, I had a boat here. It was on a boat trailer, and I just cut up the boat for scrap, and the trailer was about an extra 5 to 7 foot longer than you see now. I already cut it and prepared it to get transformed into a utility trailer that now I can go and sell once I get it made. So if you don't know how to find like customers that need welding, one thing you can do is try to find things that you can build, modify, or whatever, and then sell. This is one of them things. Like I said, it was an old boat trailer, and it was a little bit longer. I was able to cut everything off the front of the original trailer, and we're gonna put some of that back on now. And then this is going to be like a 4 foot by 8 foot utility trailer. I need to put this coupler back on. The jack needs to go on. Safety chains. Where this clamp is here, I guess it was bolted here. I cut off one of the boat stowing, the boat pulling attachments, which was bolted on, and now because I did that, it kind of pivots, so I'm going to eliminate that and just weld it right here. Like I said, weld that on, weld the jack on right there, weld the safety chains on. It needs new tires, which I already have laying around in the garage. I was going to change them out to haul the boat, but now I'll probably take them off, both of them off. I'll save the best one for a spare, and then this thing will have 2 fresh tires on it. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the upper section just yet. I just want to make the rolling chassis right now for the frame, and then the upper portion of it, I'm thinking of cutting up some angle that I have, laying it from the back along this section, keep going up, and then pretty much make a big frame on top of this frame for the upper. But I might also just make some brackets to hold some 4x4s and just make it a completely wooden flat deck. I'm not sure yet, but so yeah, I'll get into this. You don't need all sorts of fancy tools when you're doing this. I just had a big grinder, a small grinder. I could have had only one grinder and made this work. I got a hammer, a pry bar, and we got our welder here and a tape measure. That's pretty much it. This is the Lincoln Power Big 210 MP. The reason why I'm using that is because it was accessible. I have a smaller Lincoln MIG welder, the 180 Home Depot version that I've had laying around for a while. I could use that as well. I could also use a Hobart stick mate and big transformers, or like an old buzz box or something. and weld this up with some stick electrodes if I wanted to. But I have the MIG. It's going to make it look nicer. It's going to hold for what it is. And, you know, no sense in overbuilding this thing. It's just a small little trailer. I'm certified for doing structural steel. So I'm not worried about that. I also have liability insurance, so if you are worried about that stuff, I mean, that's stuff you pretty much need to run your business anyway. The certifications you can get around for a while, but eventually you will. There will come a time where you'll need to get certified. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into the welding of this. Alright, so I'm going to get into the welding. Like I said, I got my Lincoln Power Mix set up. We're running an 035 solid wire MIG with a 90-10 gas, 90% argon, 10% CO2. The welder is set at 240 inches per minute wire feed and 18.5 volts. You can use different settings if you want, but those are what I'm using. And yeah, we're gonna get into this. I'm also running my gas at around like 40 or 50 CFM. That's a bit high, but I'm outside. It gets a little bit breezy, but it's calm enough right now where I can MIG weld outdoors. If I was inside, I would have that gas around like 25 or 30 CFM. Alright, now it's time for the next part of this build. I gotta get the new tires on. You'll see me, I have this fancy impact gun here, but you don't need it. You can use just a regular socket or any sort of lug wrench. These bolts are the 3/4 inch socket, so that's what I'm using. And you'll see, I'm not even going to use a jack. I just got some old junk 4x4s here. I think one of them's a railroad tie actually. I'm going to lift the trailer up and set it on the lumber. Now I can take that tire off. These bolts are a bit rusty. These little tires are really hard to work with. I'm used to like big semi tires. Ain't used to nothing this small. Alright, so I don't want to put them on too tight. But that's on there. I'm going to switch over to the other side. Alright, that's the second tire on there. That bearing sounds a lot worse than the other one. It's got some more play, but it's just a small little trailer. Might grease it and it might be okay. I don't know. There's also some gunk caught up in here. That might be what's going on too. All this seaweed and gunk caught up in it. I don't know. It's like some fishing line or something is tangled up in there. So I might have to free that up. I mean, it rolls. It's not like excessively loose. So I don't know. Get it off the jack or get it off the wood. Alright, so there you have it. We got a good rolling chassis now. Like I said, I might have to clean up that one wheel bearing a little bit. But it would get down the road as an occasional use around town trailer. This is not made to go cross country or nothing. It's a little bit I measured it. It will be a 4-foot by 7-foot trailer by the time I'm done with it. If I go to where that grind clamp is set up, run my front cross beam right there, it'll be 4 foot by 7 foot. I got the 2 tires there. I'll pick out the best one to use for a spare. Try to sell the motor maybe. And then this is what we got up front here. These are the welds. I put plug welds where them bolt holes used to be. So it's got, that's pretty well overdone. These are what the welds look like up here. See if I can get the camera to focus. Hold on. There we go. That's vertical down. There was an overhead lap joint there. I got the safety chains welded on. Usually it's better if you bolt these on. I mean, this trailer's pretty light anyway. I got that thing welded on. It came bolted on, but I just cut the bolts off because they were so rusty, and I just welded that back on. So I mean, it's gonna work. I tried to weld it up as high as I could, because a lot of times if you have a low setting truck, if you welded the jack lower, the low setting trucks, it's hard to flip you know, flip the jack when you're trying to connect to your truck. So I always put them up as high as I can. Then there's the welds on this side, if I can get this thing to focus. Right there. They're pretty decent, I think. Decent enough for this. And now, you know, I can figure out what I'm doing with the deck. See if I can get the deck built as cheaply as I can with some leftover steel I have sitting around. And then I'll either be able to use this thing myself or sell it to somebody. I'd probably sell it the way it is now as a project trailer, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and weld everything up if I have the steel laying around. So hopefully this helps some of you beginner welders try and figure out ideas to, you know, start some projects. You know, doing stuff like this is more of something you want to do if you have a day job or a full-time job already. Come home and mess with stuff like this nights and weekends. It's very hard to sell trailers like this full-time, but you know, if you're slow doing a business full-time, you know, you can also do stuff like this. But yeah, basic equipment gets you a project you can sell. So hopefully this helps somebody.